All right. Greetings, YouTube. Beautiful mind here. Okay, welcome, gentlemen. This is going to serve as an orientation for College Algebra 2 for spring of 2022. Congratulations, you survived 2021 and 100% of your obstacles of the past, right? You have made it through it and up until this point. But we did not come this far to come this far. We came this far to keep going. Our nature, our design is to progress and keep moving forward. So with that, we're going to hop into this material for College Algebra 2 for spring of 2022. So we're going to start off on our Blackboard page, okay? So when you go to Blackboard, it should bring you here. We're going to open up that link, and you should see something that looks like this, okay? So the first thing is, and I'm working on an iPad to do all this, you have our daily Zoom link. So every time we meet, you can either click on that image, I think I made it a web link, or you can scan it, scan the QR, and that'll bring you to our Zoom link. So we will be doing a remote asynchronous course. So what that means is that all I need you to do at our class sessions is just show up and get your attendance. You're not obligated to stay, but I do the best I can to do the presentations or recordings in advance. I expect you to watch these recordings in advance on your own, take notes as if you're in class, and then come to the scheduled meeting class times with questions ready to go, right? So obviously this is the first session or whatever. I don't expect you to have it ready to go right now, but going forward, I expect you to watch the stuff in advance and come to class ready to go. So, but you can start with the daily Zoom link. Next, anything that you see me writing, handwritten or otherwise, you can find in that link number 2 where it says daily lecture notes or box link. You can go there to find a copy of the syllabus, blank versions of the notes before I write on them, and you can find copies of the stuff that you see me writing. So anything that you see me doing as far as writing on the screen, I make it available in that link number 2. The third link are all assignments. So we're going to be using Pearson, and you access Pearson with this third folder, right? So we have this My Math Lab all assignments, right? So to access My Math Lab, you access it right there with that link at the top. There's one that's highlighted right now. I do expect you are required to purchase full access to this. I'm under the impression that it runs about $120. Now, if you had me as a student in the past, or if your professor used the exact same book from the past, you actually don't have to purchase full access again. If you're using Pearson and it's the exact same book, you should be able to log in with your account from before, and you don't have to purchase access. But it has to be the exact same book. So, and if you're not prepared to purchase full access right now, go ahead and get started anyway. You can go ahead and get started on this link, and you should see an option you should be prompted to get access for a 14-day temporary trial. So you get 2 weeks free access. After the 2 weeks, it'll lock out. But it's important that you go ahead and get started. You don't want to get behind in this material. That's a very dangerous place to be because it's difficult to get caught up. It is a lot of information. Our rhythm will be going through about one section per week, and there'll be a corresponding quiz for each section per week. But I went on and made all your assignments available for the semester. So your homework is available for the entire semester right now. Your quizzes are available for the entire semester right now. Your exams are available for the entire semester right now, except they're scheduled, right? So exams, you can anticipate 3 exams. Exams 1, 2, and 3, and the final, they're scheduled, but they won't release until certain times. I think I scheduled exam 1 to release during week 4, exam 2 to release during week 8, and exam 3 releases during like week 13, and then there's a final. With all of our assignments, you get unlimited attempts, and you can earn up to 100% up until the deadline. All right. You can work on any assignment past the deadline with unlimited attempts, but there's a 10% late penalty, right? So there's an extension already built into all of our assignments. But there is a hard deadline, right? There's a hard deadline for all assignments of May 1st at midnight. That's that Sunday night going into Monday at the top of the week of finals. Once we move into the week of finals, I'll make our final exam available for that entire week, and you get unlimited attempts for that week to work on your final exam. Okay? So hopefully that's the long and short of our assignments. But we are using Pearson, and you access Pearson through this. And so with this folder, with these links, you have all your assignments in the form of homework, quizzes, and exams. In that first link, you have a link to the multimedia library for Pearson, the e-textbook. So you have a digital copy of the book. It's the exact book. Same thing as the book. It's just a digital copy. You see it in that third link. Then you have some information on the browser check, like if the computer's not, if it's not working with the browser, you want to follow those prompts. And then just a link for any Pearson announcements. Okay, so that's folder number 3. And then link number 4 is a link to my YouTube channel. So my YouTube name that I go by Beautiful Mind Pfeiffer. And so that's where you'll find like this recording, just any kind of videos. You can see my sessions with students of the past. And like, so basically anything for this semester I put into one playlist. So I only have 2 classes between College Algebra 2 and Calculus for Business. So your information is going, both of you all's information is going to be in one playlist, which is going to be basically spring of 2022. So you can access this video and, anything for your class is going to be in that playlist on my YouTube channel. So go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. Shameless plug. It doesn't cost you anything. It's going to be an invaluable resource. Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe, and turn on all of your notifications. So that way when I go live like I'm doing now, or I do any kind of posting to that, you can at least get a notification and be aware of what I'm sharing, okay? You don't necessarily have to tune in, but you just want to be aware. So with that, we're going to actually hop into the syllabus over here on the far left. I'm going to go ahead and click on that and open up this link. Kind of like, I can't do the thing I'm trying to do, but that's okay. Let me try. I mean, this is fine. This is fine. I'm okay with this. So this is going to serve as an orientation for College Algebra 2, which is HMAT section HMAT 115 section 3. CRN is 48184. My name is Mr. Pfeiffer, and my best way to contact me is via email at my first name dot last name at morehouse.edu. This phone number it basically just takes you to my Zoom. That takes you to my Zoom. I think you can call into my Zoom, and like my office hours are basically going to be during our scheduled class time and other times by appointment. And so because this is remote asynchronous, again, I do the best I can to make this information available before we meet. I expect you to watch it before we meet, take notes if you're in class, and then come to the scheduled class time with questions ready to go. My intent is to use class time as like a study session, like a Q&A session or a homework session. But I don't really intend to use class time to do lectures. I intend to do the lectures before we meet and try to get as much information done in advance. We're scheduled to meet Wednesdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 10:50. So we'll do the best we can with those scheduled times, but most of the learning is remote and on your own. Again, because it's a remote asynchronous, what I expect you to do is at the scheduled class time, all I need you to do is get your attendance credit for these twice a week, right, at these scheduled times. Once you get your attendance credit, you're not obligated to stay. And so the way you get attendance, like I basically take attendance as I let students into the Zoom. So once you get into my Zoom, then that means you've gotten attendance credit for that day, and you're not obligated to stay at that point. It's recommended to stay, but you're not obligated to. And so the dates for this course, it runs from January 12th through May 6th, 2022. Again, more information how to connect to my Zoom. And again, my office hours are going to be basically during class time. Again, I'm just taking advantage of the fact that we're doing a remote asynchronous, and most of the learning is going to be done on your own. Now, let me offer this suggestion. We have our scheduled meeting times, and you're going to be doing a lot of learning on your own. So my recommendation as far as a plan of attack or a plan of approach for this information, one, you want to do whatever you can on your own. Once you kind of reach the limits of there, after that, then you definitely want to go ahead and link up with your classmates. You want to get the contact info of at least 3 of your classmates in all of your classes, right? So if you need assistance or if you miss something, you definitely want to have at least 3 contacts. And then once you've done what you can on your own and you've done what you can with your classmates, then you also want to go ahead and get the information for the tutor, know how to connect with our tutors. So that way, if you're feeling lost, you know where to go for help. I encourage you all to work together. It's totally okay. I just I have some things in place to kind of like thwart certain things, and we'll talk about that. But I encourage you all to work together, and just everybody needs to submit their own work. But I definitely encourage you all to work together. Okay. So an course overview. So for College Algebra 2, this is a 2-credit course, which means you're allowed up to 2 unexcused absences. Once you hit that third unexcused absences, you could potentially be automatically withdrawn from the course, and that'll mess up your money, right? None of us, most of us don't have like money like that to just be throwing around like that. If you do, feel free to throw plenty of it my way. I don't know that I can take care of you as far as this course is concerned, but outside of this course, I got you. But most of us don't have money like that to be throwing around, right? So you want to protect your investment and cultivate your investment in yourself by just showing up. At least show up at each class, get your attendance credit, and know that you're fully supported. You have Pearson, for you to work on your own. You have your classmates, which is what I encourage for collaboration. You have tutors. Basically, the tutors are just sitting waiting for you to come. You've already paid for the tutors for your tuition. So they're just sitting waiting for you to come. And you can totally take this information and just sit with them and work on it together. Like they're just sitting there. That's what they're paid for, right? That's what I did when I was tutoring. When I was a student at Morehouse, I was a tutor. People will come in and I'll be like, yeah, let's talk about it, because I enjoy it. But yeah. And then I'm here, right? So you have Pearson, you have your classmates, you have the tutors, and you have me. And we're all here, to help you, right? But we can't force our services on you. You have to ask. So a lot of times I'm just waiting for people to ask questions. But if I give answers without being prompted, then it falls on deaf ears generally. Like if I give answers, oh yeah, that answer is 27. They were like, what are you talking about? But if you say, oh, what's the answer to 43? 27. Oh, now there's context, right? Hopefully that makes sense. So I'm just waiting for you guys to ask questions, but I can't. It doesn't mean anything if I give you questions if you're not genuinely asking. It doesn't mean anything for me to give answers if you're not genuinely asking questions, right? Like if you haven't really thought about it. Um, so here are the topics, that I'd like to go through. And so, as far as the material, again, you can access all of the material via Blackboard. Okay, there's an ebook and everything in there. And so here's our schedule for the semester. This is the rhythm that I intend to do. Basically, it's like one section per week. For instance, if you look at week 1, we have section 1.7 inverse functions. So the homework for that week is already assigned, and the quiz for that week, the corresponding quiz is already assigned. So here's another piece of information. Um, I'm doing something a little bit different on Pearson this go round in the sense of now I've incorporated prerequisites. What I mean is, in order to access quiz 1, I think I made a prerequisite that you need to score at least 50% on the corresponding homework assignment. In order to access quiz 2, you need to make at least 50% on the corresponding homework assignment. In order to access exam 1, you need to make at least 50% on the corresponding quizzes, right? So exam 1, I think, is over sections 1, 7, 2, 5, and 3, 1. In order to access that exam, you need to make at least 50% on quiz for week 1, 2, and 3. But in order to access those quizzes, you need to make 50% on the corresponding homeworks, right? So even though we get unlimited attempts, and you can work on any assignment past the due date, but in order to unlock certain things, you got to have a certain level of proficiency, right? So again, everything is available now. My recommendation is to try to get out as far ahead and get as many of these assignments done as soon as you can. If you finish all this work early, then you can kind of just chill, just show up, get your attendance credit, and then you'll just be waiting for the exams when they release, right? You can totally do that. And that way that frees up your time and you can focus on other things and you've already gotten what you need out of this course, right? So just some ideas. But again, if you look at week 4, you'll see exam 1. If you look at week 8, you'll see exam 2. If you look at week 13, you'll see exam 3. You see holidays. Like for instance, okay, so that Monday, we don't meet on Mondays, but you'll see January 17th is a holiday, so the school is closed. Spring break is March 7th through the 9th, so Morehouse is closed. I think there is a Good Friday that kind of disrupt us a little bit, so Morehouse is closed on that day, on April 15th, right? So I took my time, tried to hammer out as many details as I can. So on any given week, here's our play by play and what you can anticipate. Okay. The grading rationale. Let's see. So basically, all the homework for the semester is about 10% of your grade. All the quizzes and classwork is about 10% of your grade. The 3 exams are going to total 60% of your grade. So that means they're like 20% each. And then the final exam is 20%. I'm open to extra credit up until about 10% of your overall grade. I think I put some Easter eggs in like my videos. So if you follow those instructions and you do them and you bring them to my attention, we can talk about extra credit. I usually do a point-based system for extra credit, like 100 points equates to 10%, and I usually give out points in like 5-point increments, right? If that makes any sense. So potentially, if you were to maximize your extra credit, you can earn up to 10% of your overall grade. So what that means is, like, say you finished with a 77%. If you were to maximize your extra credit, it potentially could be boosted to an 87%, so on and so on, right? So the grading scale is basically your 90s or A's, 80s or B's, 70s or C's. Officially passing any course at Morehouse is a C, and for me, a C in this course is 70%. When you get into the D range, which is like we're gonna keep that to a minimum, some programs allow you to move forward with the D, but most do not. And I think for everybody at F, you have to like redo it, and that's wasting time and money, right? So we talked about the homework again. The homework is available. Really, the homework is just there to prepare you for the exams. It's there. You have access to all the homework for the semester. It's really just there to prepare you for the exam. Okay. And the quizzes are just kind of like what you can kind of anticipate the feel for the exams to be. The quizzes are a little bit different than the homework. Okay. The makeup policy, again, the way I kind of structured everything has a natural extension built into it. So even there are deadlines for everything, you can work on any assignment with unlimited attempts past the deadline. But past the deadline, there's a 10% late penalty on all assignments. And then there's a hard deadline of that May 1st, which is a Sunday night at midnight, going into Monday morning at the top of the week of finals, right? The withdrawal policy is the last day to withdraw is April 4th, 2022. The last day of classes are April 27th, 2022. And the final exam week runs from May 2nd to the 6th. Attendance, again, because this is a 2-credit course, you're allowed up to 2 unexcused absences. Once you hit that third unexcused absence, you'll be automatically withdrawn from the course, and that'll mess up your money, right? You'll be wasting your money, which is, you don't want to do it. It's not worth it. You want to protect your investment in yourself by just showing up and make sure you get your attendance credit. And as long as you really just try with this whole experience, usually just trying is the minimum that you need to kind of keep moving. If you don't even try, then I don't have anything to work with, and there's nothing that I can do to kind of help, right? So the playing field has been set up. Again, you're fully supported. You have support on your own if you want to just kind of work by yourself. That's where Pearson comes into play and the internet. And then this next level are your classmates, right? So I encourage you all to work together, start a group meeting. Like, I encourage all of that. Work together to get it done. But everybody needs to submit their own stuff. And then the next level are the tutors. Again, you've already paid for the tutors. These tutors are just sitting there waiting for you guys to show up and ask questions. And then the final level is me. I'm here, right? But I find that a lot of times my presentation or energy is like off-putting. As gentle and whatever it seems like right now, once we get into the thick of it, the students are usually just shut down, and like I can't get them to communicate with me. So that's why I try to have other measures in place. Like, okay, if I'm kind of intimidating or whatever, which it's okay, then you have other things in place for support, right? You're fully supported, and I'm just waiting for you guys to ask questions as well. But again, I can't make you do anything. I can just show you the door, and just write down what you got, who walks through the door, who does what. All I'm doing is just writing down what you're doing. That's it. It's nothing personal or anything. I just record what you guys do. Okay, hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully that encourages you to like devise a plan of action and execute. Disability services, if you need any kind of accommodations, basically you'll contact that number that you see at the end of that section and speak to those representatives, and they'll make sure they'll draft a letter so we can make sure that you're accommodated however you need to be accommodated. And you can give me that letter discreetly, and we'll make sure that you're accommodated. Now, cell phone and laptops, obviously, because this is remote asynchronous, I encourage you to use your device. It's totally okay. Um, if you have a graphing calculator, that's fine. Also, like for graphing, I recommend like there's a free online software in the form of Algebra.com or Desmos.com, right? So yeah, I encourage it. It's totally okay for me. Like I just I just encourage you to practice and know how to do these things. That's the main thing. I just want you to know how to be able to do this stuff. And again, cheating and plagiarism generally is not worth it. Like what can happen is obviously because this is remote asynchronous, I can't like put you guys in a testing environment. We don't have a testing center and do all of that. I can't do all of that, right? So I can't really monitor it to that degree. But what happens is eventually what happens is at some point you're going to be put in a testing environment. If it's not, at some point you're going to find yourself in a testing environment. And so if you've cheated your way through all of this, it's going to show. And so when it's just you and all you have is that paper and pencil and calculator, if you've cheated your way through, you're not going to be able to do any of that stuff. So any kind of like future money or scholarships or jobs or anything of that nature, they're going to be like, well, you got a B or an A in this course. How come you can't do any of this? And you're probably not going to admit that you cheated, but it's going to show and it's going to be very clear. So it's a total waste of your time and money to do that. You can do it, and when students choose to walk that path, well, we walk that path together, and it's okay, because that's your business, right? Like Tabitha Brown says, because that's your business. But it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Other things that have happened are that like people cheat their way through a course. They cheat, they get out of it, they get their grade, and they graduate, right? And then they start working, and they're making like 6 and 7 figures, and they're working, and then it surfaces that they cheat. So then, if they cheat, that means they never really did that course. They didn't never got the credit. That means they never got their degree. So now, if they didn't get their degree, that means they don't qualify for their job, right? So then now it's like they either got to go back and face whatever thing they were running from, or they lose like whatever they have been building. So again, it's totally not worth it. Cheating is basically like a ticking time bomb of self-sabotage. That's what it is. It's like you get this you get power in the short term, but against the test of time, truth and integrity always wins against lies and deceit. Like lies and deceit are powerful and they give you a momentary boost, but they don't ever withstand the test of time. And I mean you can see it across the board, like with different systems or whatever. So again, long story short, is not worth it. The best thing is do the best you can on your own. Link up and work with your classmates and work with them. Link up with the tutors. Ask your professor, ask me questions. If you do those, if you kind of work those 4 realms, that's usually enough to kind of keep you going, right? You don't have to be perfect and know everything. You just need to make a genuine effort. That's really what it is needed, is a genuine effort. And just effort is more than enough to kind of get you going, to keep you going and get you on your way. Okay. As your professor, I'm really here as a guide. I'm not. I'm just here to kind of offer suggestions, and I'm a recorder. I just write down what you guys are doing. That's it. But if you succeed, you know, you get the glory for that. If you fail, I mean, I'll take responsibility, but that doesn't help you, right? You know what I mean? At some point, we all have to like be accountable for our actions and our and deeds. We all basically everything in the dark comes to light at some point. So this is kind of like a lesson in like accountability for yourself. You can't really do anything for others. All you can really do is be accountable for yourself and try to like encourage others, but you can't really make others do anything because that's their business, and that's everybody's divine right. If that makes any sense. Okay. So then this last page of the syllabus is a document saying that you've gone through the syllabus, you understand what's expected of you out of the course, and that you'll abide by the rules of the course. So then what I would need you to do is on that first line, print your name. On that second line, print your name. Sign your name on the third line. Put your Morehouse email on the email line, and then put the date. And I'll be sure to like create some kind of way for you to load those documents. I know like we have a Blackboard, we have a Dropbox in in the portal, so we'll probably find some way in there for you to load this document. Okay. So I can't think of anything else. Again, so I want to say the lecture for week 1 is available. The homework for week 1 is available. The quiz for week 1 is available. So everything is there. You just need to get started and you know start making your way through the material. Again, my recommendation: you want to get out as far ahead as you can. So that way, the sooner you finish these assignments, the more you can free up time to do whatever it is you want to do with your time. Okay? On that note, we're going to end the session here. And from one beautiful mind to another, enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.